It's still on the run from the Orleans Parish Jail, is now surpassing that 5-week manhunt mark. Today, tense moments, though, for many neighbors in New Orleans as a slew of officers swarmed a home in the 7th Ward. This on Annette Street, not too far from where another house was searched just last week. Shay O'Connor went to that scene earlier today and has this report.
Welcome back to Fugitive TV, the place where I'm the only one that can give you a perspective from a fugitive outlook on things involving fugitives. Prison, jail, escape, whatever you want to do. This is what we're going to talk about today. We're going back to Antoine Massey and Derrick Groves. Now, word is out on the street that they are still searching in New Orleans for these two individuals. Now, do you really think they're in New Orleans? Do you really think? Well, NOPD, New Orleans Police Department, seems to think they are. They've searching houses, and you remember how they arrested Derrick Groves' supposedly girlfriend? They arrested 2 other people even after that.
Yeah, officials tell me that they received a tip earlier this morning about Antoine Massey being at a home between Hope and Annette Streets. Earlier this morning, they did not find Massey. Now, on your screen right now, some video that shows just how large that police presence was. WDSU was here and saw SWAT, along with what appeared to be state police and NOPD. Many streets were blocked off as officials worked to check into that tip. They cleared the scene around 10 a.m.
No information if they're lowering her bond or not, if they're lowering the maintenance workers' bond. No information on if they're even arresting some of the people that actually worked in the jail, like the guards who fell asleep or went to go get something to eat, why supposedly they escaped through that little hole, which I don't believe in, never did from day one. I believe they got let out. And remember this video with the guy with the keys?
These are the keys to the jail. These are actual keys to the actual jail. I want to highlight right here so you can see. Keys to the jail. So it doesn't really matter if the locks are broken when you fire people and don't take back the keys.
Let out the GC.
Always said they went through a door, they didn't go through the hole. Now, some reason the police still think they're in there. They're in New Orleans. Man, all right, check this out. If they're in New Orleans, I kind of want to give them props because they're managing to be out this long while being in the same city. But hopefully they're out the state. Hopefully y'all are out the country. Hopefully y'all are gone somewhere out of just, everybody's hair. But hey, who am I to say? I was on the run for 15 years. I grew up watching friends die. Friends go to jail. I thought that would never be me. Till the day I decided to pawn a TV that my friend gave me. That TV ended up being stolen. One thing led to another. Going in and out of jail, I escaped twice. I started one of the biggest crime rings in the state. 10 years it gave me. My 3-year-old son passed away during this process. I could not take it, so I went on the run for 15 years. Different countries, different names, I did it all. My life has been something you only read about in books, but this is nonfiction. This is me. And while I was on the run, I wasn't in the same state. I left that city I was on the run from. I left within hours. I was gone in hours. Actually, you know what? I even took a Greyhound bus. And back in those times, I don't know how it is now, but back in those times, you used to be able to give the Greyhound bus a fake name, to jump on the bus and you're on your way. I was John Doe or John Smith or whatever. They didn't ask for ID. I haven't rode a Greyhound bus in forever. Y'all let me know. Whoever's rode a Greyhound bus, let me know and tell me below. If they ask for ID or if they don't, because I haven't been on one in a long time. They used to, but that was a good way to get around, right? I don't see these 2 people still being in New Orleans. I think the police are just wasting their time. I think they're just trying to do everything. And, they're actually the police department, the mayor's office, they all look bad. Every single one of these people look bad. What is the lieutenant or whoever the hell they is, that the lady, she said that if they turn themselves in, they will have legal representation for them. Now, for any of y'all that's never been in trouble, right? You get arrested. The first thing the cop reads you is you have a right to a lawyer. If you can't afford one, the court's going to give you one. So they said they're going to give them a court-appointed attorney if they turn themselves in. By law, they have to give them a court-appointed attorney if they turn themselves in. Even if they get caught, they still have to get a court-appointed attorney. This makes no sense. And even if they do want to listen to what she says or whatever, and she wants to give them some lawyer, how do they know this lawyer is not going to be, how do they know the lawyer is going to be for their best interests? How do they know that? Man, come on now. How dumb do you think we are? How dumb do you think? And I'm going to use Miss English again. We are, massa. We just dumb. Come on now. Nobody should be this dumb to fall for that. All right. No, it doesn't work that way. You do have a right to a court-appointed attorney. If you turn yourself in, get caught, commit a crime, no matter what crime you commit, you get an attorney. Then it's up to you if you want to fire your attorney, get another one, or represent yourself. Hopefully sometimes you don't represent yourself, but hey, there's a lot of people that have. I think that what the sheriff is saying, or whoever made that comment, ain't falling for it. Now, where do y'all think do you think they're still in New Orleans? Do you think they left the state? Do you think they left the country? What do you think? Like, subscribe, leave your comments down below. Just let me know, all right?
Well, Mogu, you're right. Actually just leaving the press conference earlier today, I even told the FBI special agent in charge here, if I'm tired, you must be exhausted, because we're now on day 13 of this manhunt, and authorities from several federal agencies, state and local law enforcement as well, all pitching in to try to find these remaining 2 fugitives. Now we know that the cash reward is up to $50,000 for any information that actually leads to a successful arrest of these remaining 2 individuals.
And they're offering that reward for like, what's it, $50,000. Now, let me tell you something. Don't be fooled by this reward, all right? Because even though you're like, oh, if I see him or if I see them, I can get this reward money. But there's little loopholes they can do to not give you the money. For example, you're supposed to call a certain number sometimes. A lot of times you're supposed to call Crime Stoppers. But let's say you call 911. They're going to say, oh, you didn't call Crime Stoppers. You call 911. Even though you calling 911 might have led to the arrest, you didn't follow procedure, so you're not getting the reward money. That's one. Second, let's say you saw one of them at CVS or Walgreens. You're like, I just saw him at CVS or Walgreens. Police show up and let's say they go to CVS or Walgreens, but they're not there anymore. But even though they show up at CVS or Walgreens, let's say the police do, and they ask CVS or Walgreens, hey, there was rumors that Derrick or, Antoine was here, and they pull up the footage, and let's say the footage shows them they were there. And let's say the footage also shows them getting in the car, and then they can track that car to where they went, and then they capture them. Because they weren't actually in CVS or Walgreens, they cannot give you the reward money. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a lot of reasons of why they try to not give it to you. So my question to you is, if you saw one of them, would you turn them in for the reward money? Would you risk it? Let me know down below. Would you turn them in for the reward money? Now, they say $50,000, right? Now it's $50,000 per head. So if you found both of them, do you get $100,000? Makes you wonder, huh? The $100,000 is life-changing money. Would you turn them in for that?
The state police has a message for anyone who does know where these guys might be located. Take a listen.
I want to be clear. Anyone who chooses to help the remaining fugitives in any way will be arrested and prosecuted. The decision is simple. Assist law enforcement and potentially earn a reward, or try to assist these fugitives and go to jail with a potentially high bond.
This video I'm not going to make long. This video is really short because I just want to see, where do y'all think these 2 individuals are at? Do you think they're going to get caught? Do you think they're not going to get caught? And do you think family's helping them? Who do you think is helping them? Do you think they're doing it themselves? It's not hard for a person to change your name. It really isn't. I did it. You know how many times I did it? Multiple times, bro. Multiple times. I did it a lot of times when I was on the run, and that was how I survived. So, there's a lot of ways to go out there. They keep saying they're going around the resources and things like that, which is true. You can run out of the resources if you don't know what to do. But hopefully, who knows, But hey, y'all make sure you like, subscribe. This is Fugitive TV, and we out.